$185 million was put into the Suicide Squad. So far, internationally, I think it's brought in about 70 million. But here in North America, it's $26.5 million. That is a bust, basically. So why did it fail? Why did it fail? That's actually a good question. That's one that I've been pondering all day. I was really kind of shocked by this. I watched it. Yesterday I did a review over this. I thought it was going to be a hit. I thought it was going to do a lot better than it did. I thought it would do a lot better than even the original one did. Now, a lot of people are saying, is it that it's the pandemic, that's the problem, that people are still scared to go out there into their theaters. They're saying that it's the HBO Max release, the simultaneous release. Is it a little bit of all of it, or is it because it's DC? In a lot of different ways. It sure feels that way sometimes. Or just people just sick and tired of superhero films now. Kind of think it's a little bit of all of it. Of course, you can take the Wonder Woman film that just was a complete and total bomb. There's lots of the Black Widow film, Marvel. So I guess you can't say that it's necessarily DC that is the problem. Black Widow failed miserably. Now, Black Widow was a terrible movie. No bones about it. Black Widow was terrible. I can't say that for the Suicide Squad. I'm not going to say it was transcendent or any kind of things along those lines. It was a good movie. I enjoyed the Suicide Squad. I thought Idris Elba did a great job. I enjoyed Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher. Harley Quinn, I didn't feel like lived up to expectations. But she was still really good. She's still the face of the Suicide Squad in a lot of different ways. This didn't have any wokeness about it, so it shouldn't go broke simply because of it. So that's not keeping fans away. And I don't necessarily buy into the pandemic excuse. I think it might be that way for some, but I don't think that is the overall cause of it. I really just think that we've kind of hit a new era. Viewing habits have changed. There's one thing that, of course, the pandemic did actually change is viewing habits. Things that we thought and we've got accustomed to over the years, we realized we no longer need it. You see it in sports. You see it in movies. People don't necessarily need these things anymore, and they fight back when it comes to if there's a movie that they disagree with or they feel like has been used in the wrong way. Take Kevin Smith's He-Man, the Masters of the Universe Revelation, and all of that. Fans used to just lap up anything that Hollywood gave them. Now fans are looking around, they're like, we got all these different streaming things that are here. We've got Netflix, of course, Amazon. We've got Disney Plus. We've got all these streaming services, and we have all this choice at our fingertips. And to be honest with you, the thrill of the movies, it's kind of an outdated view of how the modern age works. These big blockbusters. You watch these old, these old films, and the footage of showing people, in lines at the theaters to just be the first ones to see it. Those days are over. Those days are just over. People would rather sit at home and just watch their favorite shows, their favorite series. They'll catch the movie when they can, but unless you're just a die-hard fan, which unfortunately the Suicide Squad probably will not have, you're not going to go out there and probably see this movie, or at least not right away. I think that poses a big problem for Hollywood in general. There's so much content that one person um, can get now. It's not like Hollywood blockbusters are the the main tray. There is series that are usually a lot better than Hollywood blockbusters. Old movies, or a lot of the movies are still better than some of these Hollywood movies that are coming out. So it's not. I feel like the prestige, the glory, Hollywood has passed Hollywood by. You see it a lot when it comes to these actors and actresses. When it comes to going out there in support for, let's say, a presidential candidate, no one cares anymore. It used to be a big deal. Even when I was younger, it was a big deal if stars come out there and supported a candidate. Now it's just not. Now it's just like, oh, yeah, just another Hollywood lib who's out there espousing something that I would never be for in a million years. It's not. They don't have the same prestige as what they used to, and I feel like it goes into their films now. Now, like I said, I actually hate that this movie is failing. I really do. Because this movie, I think, gets a lot of things right. I think it gets a female protagonist right. They show female protagonists how they should be shown in Hollywood. They're strong, but they're likable. They're not trying to put down the male to bring up the woman. They're trying to just treat these characters as just human beings. That's what Hollywood needed to do with female characters in every movie, but they don't. They usually spend their time doing this woke practice of tearing down males, and then to bring up these unlikable female characters. That doesn't happen in this. I feel like James Gunn got this right. And I wish that fans would go out there and give their support for it, because this film is what we've really been calling for as fans. It's not a bunch of woke garbage. It is just fun. It is just a fun film. It's not a great film, but it's a good film. And it's one that, you know what? I'll be watching this film about 3 or 4 times. I love this film that much. It's just fun to watch. I enjoyed each one of the characters. I mean, there was some people like Polka Dot Man, or Ratcatcher. I didn't even know who they were, to be honest with you. And I thought they were great. I mean, I thought they were absolutely great. So great that I would love Ratcatcher to get a show of her own. Now, do I think maybe John Cena's performance was lacking? Of course, yeah. I'm just not a John Cena fan, but I'm kind of disappointed he's the one that's going to be getting a series out of it. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily buy into the whole pandemic argument. I think people are just sick and tired of not just Hollywood blockbusters, or just the kind of the aura that goes along with it. I think people got better things to do now. But also, I think the superhero genre has run its course. I really do. I think Marvel kind of played it out. I think Phase 4, you're starting to see that in the MCU, where, Black Widow just absolutely tanked. The Black Widow movie would not have tanked 5 years ago. It would not have. People would have been flying to the theaters to see it. And they would have lapped that junk up even though it was complete and total garbage. They would have still lapped it up. They would still give it good ratings. They'd still be calling for a Black Widow too. That's what they would have done. Same could be said even for the latest Wonder Woman film. I mean, that film was terrible. I hate to say it, it was terrible. It didn't make any sense whatsoever, and I was really disappointed by that because I loved the first one. I thought Gal Gadot did a great job still. There was only so much she could have done with that film in general. But I just feel like, one, people are just kind of sick and tired of the Hollywood genre. I mean, not the Hollywood genre, but the superhero genre. I just feel like It's run its course. It was fun while it lasted. I don't know if you'll ever get any big name superhero films to come out anytime soon, unless they're like the mainstream, like a Superman, Batman, probably Batman if I had to guess. One of those to come out. That'd be the only way you could get these people to come out to see it. The Avengers. So I don't think I think Suicide Squad in that regard was probably damned from the very beginning, simply because of the name recognition, and the first one wasn't really viewed very highly, even among fans. So yeah, there just wasn't a lot of excitement for it, which is sad because, like I said, it was a good movie. I would recommend it. If you haven't already seen it, go out and see it. Give it a chance. I assure you, you probably won't be disappointed by the end result. But I just think, hey, you know what? Black Widow kind of, well, I say the last Wonder Woman film kind of gave us an idea of just that fans were waning when it come to the whole superhero thing. But then when Black Widow came out, it was just an utter disaster. I think people are just tired of it. You can say streaming services, and hey, you know what? I'm not going to deny that's going to be part of it. There's one excuse that they can come up with is streaming services, coming out on HBO Max simultaneous. Why would you go to see it in theaters when you can watch it on HBO Max? Now, I love the HBO Max setup when it comes to that. I love it a lot more, and I love Disney Plus. Disney Plus is garbage when it comes to that. I'm not paying the extra $30 to see something when I'm already paying so much to have Disney Plus in the first place. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that it was the pandemic that caused the bad box office results? Do you believe that the superhero genre basically is just coming to an end? Do you believe that had just had something to do with, I don't know, the Suicide Squad not really being mainstream and not necessarily, I mean, it had the star power, no doubt, but not necessarily having that big name recognition that people are used to. And, of course, the first one not being reviewed very well. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.